Alright, hey, what's going on, guys? So what I have in for repair today is a Samsung A32, and what's wrong with it is we have a damaged connector. Okay, so I'm trying to be careful here not to lose any of the parts. So here's the phone. We have the connector here. Let me show you guys the connector. So if you look, you can see that right here, half of the connector is gone. One side of it is all gone, and we only have the other side left. Okay, you can see that right there. So what we're gonna do is we have a donor board here. I was trying to avoid using the donor board, but we got the donor just to use for this. But I thought maybe I have one laying around, so I wouldn't even need to use it. But either way, we have this donor board. So what we probably can do is heat it from the bottom, or maybe what we'll do is actually we'll get one of our preheaters. We have a couple different kind of preheaters, and we can use one of those to help us remove it. So I can use this preheater right here and just kind of simply just lay it in place. Take that camera out, but we can lay this in place right here and then let it heat up and then just pull it off, or just kind of move it off the board. So that's what we'll probably do. Let's just see how things work out. Let's get into this Samsung A32 connector replacement. All right, we're back. So let's we're gonna remove all of these cameras because it's probably better off just to remove them, just in case in the future he needs it for something. He has that. Okay, and we got this, but we need some power to get this thing working. Let's see if we have any loose. No, we don't. So we're going to use a power from the fume extractor to power this. Yep, and it's already on, and it's starting to give off some heat. So we're going to move everything that we have, bring it over there. Let's also go ahead and let's remove this while this is warming up. Over here, we have this rubber right here. You guys can't see that. So we have this rubber. I just went ahead and just put some alcohol on it just to kind of get it to way up off the board. And there we go. We have that up off the board. And we're going to do the same thing on this one. Might as well, right? Just get this tape off like that. Get our long tweezer. I mean, we have more of a. I just opened up one of the new tweezers that I purchased that are super nice, but I don't know where it is right now. Like that, and let's see if I can find that tweezer. Yep, here we go. Wow, this thing is really putting off some heat. So let's go ahead and let's remove this connector right here. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna get our soldering iron and let's dry up some of this alcohol that's already here. Like that. There's no rip pads, at least not that I can see. Okay, those are all still there. All right, and let's get our iron and let's get it up to temp, and let's get some flux on this board. And with that, we will get some solder, and then we'll get our iron, and we'll just put this right here, solder, and then we'll kind of slowly, we'll get some of our, use our hot gonna help us remove all of this. Nice and easy. Let's get a board holder, which will also help, so that way the board is not moving all over the place and making it 10 times harder to repair this. Okay, and that's pretty locked in. It's not, this board holder is okay. I don't want to drop this tweezer yet. I haven't even used it yet. And I haven't even tested to see if this thing is actually working. I'm just trusting that the other shop did their due diligence and they've tested it, which I'm sure they did, because this seems like you know, a shop damage. So I think they know that it is working, whatever they did. They're just trying to get the problem solved. Okay. All right, let's clean that up. Now that we've removed that. Okay. There we go. We have removed that connector from this board. And let's just finish cleaning this board up a little bit more, and then we'll go ahead and we'll pull the other one off the other board. Try our best not to melt it, because we definitely need to use it. Okay. And let's just, you know, let's make sure that we fluff this board up nice and get it ready for the new connector. I don't necessarily need all that solder, but just to make sure that I have enough. You don't have to use this much. Okay, that looks pretty good. We'll clean it up for now. And then we'll put this off to the side. Okay, now let's get our donor board. And here's our donor board. And we got this preheater. I don't know if you guys will be able to see what's going on with this preheater. I'm gonna try my best to get this shot in. So hopefully you guys can see that. Nope, too much light. There we go. And let's and we're gonna give it like maybe like 20 to 30 seconds for this board to kind of get up to temp, and then we'll yank it. We'll yank the chip off. Using a little weight just to hold the board in place, so when I go to remove this connector, I'm not fighting with it too much and causing it to be damaged. So you guys can see that, but on my end, it's so dark. Watching to see some bubbles. Okay, so now we can come in with our heat right here from above, and because I think the board is up to temp now. Kind of see it melting here, but we don't want to keep our heat in one place, so I'm kind of moving it around. And this is one of those things that you have to be real patient about. All right, so I think I'm going to turn up my airflow. Add some more flux because we don't want to melt the actual connector. And I'm trying to make sure that I don't get my tweezers too hot either, because if you heat your tweezers up too much, then what they'll do is they'll actually start melting into the plastic. I think we need a little bit more. Let's try 250. Let's add some more flux. Okay, there we go. Oh, there we go. We got it up off of there. And then we'll just go ahead and we'll turn off the heat. And we'll take our weight off. Unplug it. Plug it back into my fume extractor. And then we will put the heater over here off to the side. Okay, and then we'll get our board. Okay, and let's look and see what we got. Okay, so the connector is going to sit right here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put some flux down on the board. We don't have to put a whole bunch. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just take this and just kind of spread it all out. Like I said, I don't want to go too crazy. Oh, that's good. Okay, and I'm going to turn up the light a little bit more. Okay, let's see. Let's continue. All right, so what we're going to do now is get the connector up off of here. And I'm bringing it close to the work area. And then we will warm the board up just a little bit before we try seating this connector. Okay, so let's do that first. Let's get the board up to temp. We don't have any components in the area that could melt away. You can see the connector over here. I'm just trying to position the board that I'm comfortable. I'm waiting to see these go shiny. Once they go shiny, then I know that it's pretty much ready. So the board is up to temp, and then I'll put the connector in place, and then I'll just flow it in place. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just kind of getting the board up to temperature. My current temp on my quick soldering station is 248 with airflow of 52. And that's too much airflow, because it just blew my connector away, so I'm gonna have to turn that down. All right, let's turn that down. We don't need such a high airflow anymore. We're just gonna shift it over just a little bit. There we go. There we go. I think we'll just let it cool down, and then we'll be able to test it. Okay, so now we can zoom in and kind of look at our pins and see what we got. So that's what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna zoom as far in as I can with my scope here. Not stuck on something. These are, everything is off by a little bit. Yep, so we have to heat this back up and kind of just press it down a little bit, because you can see that it's not all the way. I don't know what that is. Seems like that's solder, yeah. All right, let's put some flux down again by heating it up. We'll just have to clean this board. And this solder is a lower melting temperature solder, so that's why you're kind of seeing with the same airflow that I had previously that it's just the solder is melting. and it's not, I don't have to put it on a preheater or any of that stuff to get it to kind of do what it's supposed to do. Trying to get it to, maybe that's it. Okay, that seems pretty good. Now, what about on this side? Okay, so we're gonna have to make some touch. Yep, we're gonna have to touch up because some of these are having, they're not soldered. So we just bought a tip the other day. I don't. This the one? Yep. I haven't got to use it yet, so here's my chance to use this new. It's like an angled tip. Now this is where you want to be real careful. I mean, you're gonna melt a little bit of the plastic, but you don't want to completely melt the plastic, if you know what I mean. So what's probably my best bet is to kind of apply some pressure to it as I'm soldering. Taking like a two-penny Jenny. Okay, all right, let's clean up and see what we got. And because some of the flux is stuck and it's kind of hard for me to, well, you know what, let's use the brush like that. Try to avoid the cameras as much as you can, and then we'll get some of the flux cleaner if I can find it. Here it is. And that will really help in situations like this. This stuff is good. Great, one more time. Some more alcohol. Then let's blow it. I want to make sure I get any leftover flux out. Even though it's not going to cause a big issue, I just want to make sure that I get it out. What's going on with this connector? Is there something up with this connector? I think so. Looks okay. Nothing wrong with that connector. Might not be clicking in because we still got some flux. How does this thing turn on? Oh, the button is connected to the back. If we get an image. I don't even know if it's charged or what's going on with it. Let's plug up a charger. If we get a display. If I get anything on the screen from it. Not even getting anything from this cable right here. Let me try this one that I know is working for sure. Oh, there's something else going on with this. It shorted out my leads. Yeah, the phone is shorting out my leads. I don't even know how to fix that. So unplug the lead and then re-plug it back in, or just plug it into something that I know that's charged, that's able to charge. Weird. Okay, so I did plug it into something that I know that's able to charge and it's fine. Okay, let's take a look at this. Yeah, so we still have some flux in there. I'm doing it inside the housing like a clown instead of taking it out. All right, let's heat this thing up and let's see if we can flush out all the flux. Do it again. We're gonna turn it down. Airflow is not that bad. Okay, and then another flush. And a scrub. Okay, yeah, so that looks better. Even though I don't really think that's the issue. It could be though. We'll find out here in a few seconds if that's the issue. Okay, let's get the housing back again. Yeah, that clipped in a lot better. Much better. All right, so now let's test one of our chargers and see what happens. I'm looking for some kind of sign of charge or something happening, but I'm getting nothing. No charge. Okay, no charge. Let's find a different charger. Like I said, this one I know is working. And still we get no charge. Even while I'm pressing down on the connector, if it was a bad connection, we would have gotten something from the charger. It would have lit up, vibrated, something to let us know that it's trying to charge. Oh no, we do have an issue with the charger. Yeah, so we don't have a good connection here. Over here, when I squeeze down on the connector, I'm getting it's starting to charge, and then it's stopped charging as I release it. So that means that something is not connected up here. All right, let's try to reflow this. And how we're gonna do that is we're gonna turn our air. All right, let's turn our heat up. And I think that should do it. Sometimes these things can be quick, and other times they can be a pain. Yeah, so it's not actually seated down. It's not actually seated down. I think it has a little bend in it from being heated up. Yeah, I think it has a little bend in it from when I took it off the other board. Got one more spot in the middle. Let's put some flux. Where did it go? Okay, that looked 10 times better. Yep, that looks 10 times better. So, like I said, I think what happened was because of all the heat that was applied to it, I think the connector did bend. You can still see it right here, but we can't continuously heat it up. If we continue to heat it up, it's going to eventually give out on us, and we're just going to be stuck with a connector that's warped completely. So, I'm going to have to make the decision on, well, not make the decision is already made. We need to use our soldering iron, and we need to touch those connectors up. So what we're going to have to do is make sure that we get enough flux on. What happened to the flux? Did it fall off the table? I think it might have fell. All right, give me a second. Here we go with the messy desk issue again. I was gonna work on the desk today to try to clean it up a little bit, and then I got sidetracked playing Overwatch and Call of Duty. So alright, so let's get some solder on this iron and just kind of touch up as much as we can without completely melting the connector. Because that's the biggest thing here, is making sure that you don't melt the connector. So I'm just going to press down. I'm just looking for flexing in the board, and wherever I see, or not in the board, in the connector, anywhere I see it flexing, like right here, probably means that these pins are not connected. Like that pin right there doesn't seem like it's connected. So we'll just go back over all of those pins. We're just gonna grab some of this. We're gonna grab our tweezer and we're gonna press down, not too much. Because I don't wanna poke a hole in the plastic either. That looks better. So let's clean. Yeah, so it was probably better off ordering a brand new connector and then putting it on. Because I still can see, I see this one. Okay, all right, I guess we just check it again. But like I said, I think it was better for me to just order this connector and then put the new connector down, because this one, I think we added too much heat to it and it caused it to warp. So it kind of, it's bow, but we can't, well, you can see it when it was on the board that you have the corners that were actually making a connection. But somewhere in the middle, it wasn't connecting properly. Okay, charger. And we're still getting nothing. I press down on it. No change there. No change even when I'm squeezing down on. Okay, let's plug it back up to this laptop. Make sure that it is charging, and then we'll plug it back into the phone. Okay, there we go. And even though I'm squeezing it right now, I'm getting nothing from it. Turn the charging cable around, same thing. Somewhere in the middle here, there's a bad connection. Okay, so we have it charging now. Yeah, so I think the connector needs to be replaced. Yeah, I think I have to order a new connector, but I'll try to touch this one up just a little bit more to see what happens here. But at this point, when it's like this, you're better off just replacing the whole thing, because I don't think even if I blow this thing one more time, I don't think it's going to make good connection with the board. But we will try. And you kind of seen it shift. But even though I seen it shift, I don't think it's going to solve the issue. Because I can already see right here, that's not making a connection with the board. So if I press down on it, you'll see it flex. Oh. And none of these look like they're touching. See that? Because the board itself bent in the middle of it. Or maybe, you know what? Let's try this. Let's remove the connector and let's knock down the ends, because maybe the ends are too high up and they're causing the actual connector not to sit right over here. Those pockets are too high. Or those solder balls are too high up. So we're going to remove those. Yep. So we're gonna knock these down. And then we can connect those afterwards. Just want to knock them down a little bit. Okay. And then we'll just go over the main ones first, and then Now that's not gonna work. We at least, hey, let's clean away the flux because it's getting all brown. Once it's getting all brown, it's time to wash it off. There we go. Put some fresh flux down. And we just need to touch up one on the end right here. That one. All right, so that's still too much, I think. Okay, a little bit better in my opinion. We'll knock this one down. We'll spread out all of this amongst all of them. That should be good. That's good. All right, and let's try again. Let's try again. We don't have it in on camera. There we go. I didn't see the bridging before right here. All right, so we got to turn this down. I'm just glad that there's no other like plastic around for me to melt. Okay, we need a little bit. We need more flux. All the connectors are off by like one. Now that we got it, let's crank up the heat, or the airflow, sorry. Oh, and a little bit more. And that should be it. We can come back and touch these up if we need to. Which it seems like we have to. Okay, this was supposed to be a quick video that turned into an hour-long video replacing a connector. Yay. Yay. And it's still going on. Still not getting this connector to sit because it warped. Okay, that seemed a little bit better, but who knows? I don't see any squishies. Yep, right here. Here's solid. Squishy here. All right, then let's try to. That should be it, I think. No fun connector. That's what I'm gonna call these. No fun connector. These some repairs you find interesting and you find them like, you know, cool, and not this. No fun. Okay, let's test it and see what happens here again with this no fun connector. Okay. All right, we got 200 milliamps. Both sides we're getting 200 milliamp, which is good. Okay, so then now that we're getting 200 milliamps, why are we not turning on? What is the battery percentage? Let's test the battery and see how much charge the battery has. Because when I was even pressing the power button earlier, it wasn't even like giving any indication of the battery actually turning it on. Four volts on the battery. That seems like an overcharge on the battery, right? Maybe that's why it's not charging, because the battery is charged, fully charged. And we're getting nothing from the power button. Not even like a vibrate. Um, try to let me put the one screw in, and then we'll try to see if we can get it to. If it's vibrating, then that's good. That means that there is power going through the board, and we have an issue with the connector still. If if we get no vibrate, nothing, then we have other problems here. What did I do with my screwdriver? Yep, messy desk strikes again. Messy desk strikes again. All right, so we got one screw that we can put in, and I think that one screw should hold the board in place, that if it vibrates, we can tell that it's at least turning on. Yep, so I did feel a vibration, but I still have no display. So I did feel a vibrate. And even with me squeezing down on the connector, I'm still not getting any display, like in and out, as if the connector is just not making a good connection. I'm not getting that. But I did feel it vibrate again. I did just feel it vibrate again. Disconnect. Reconnect. Vibration, but no display. So do we have maybe possibly we have an issue with the display? Maybe. Right, that's possible. That's very possible still. And it's really hard for me to test all of these pins. But I can't say I see them moving, you know, like when I'm get that one out of the hole. All right, let's get a few of these pins out of the hole and see if maybe like that one is really bad. So maybe it's just clean up this back connection. Oh, in that. Yeah, that thing just bent. All right, let's try this because there goes those tweezers. All right, let's test that. And if not, we'll just order a new connector because that's probably our best bet is ordering a new connector. So I'm getting like 200 milliamp, and then that's it. 200 milliamp. Yeah, so we're going in and out of 200 milliamps. Which, like I said, I just think the connector is just too warped. I added too much heat to it. And because I added too much heat to it, it's not making a very good connection. That's my thinking. Trying to check the ribbon cable. All right, let's just try to clean out the connector. And if that doesn't work, then that's it for this video, because I'm just gonna order a new connector. There's no need for me to continuously fight with this thing if it's not gonna, if I can't get it cleaned up enough to get a connection, a good solid connection from it, then that just means that like I said, the connector is just warped and it's too far gone. And I can't do anything else but just replace it with a different one. The sucky thing is the shop will have to wait a few extra days for me to get a new connector. I don't like that. I like to get them in and get them out. Right, that felt like it clipped in, but that's still, that doesn't mean much at this point, because yeah, we're only getting 100 milliamps and no display. It very well could be the screen, because before, when I squeezed on the connector, I'd get like 200-300 milliamps, and then it would, it would stop doing its thing. But now it's not doing that. Yeah, it's stuck at 200 milliamps, and then it just goes on and off, on and off, on and off at 200 milliamps. It vibrates as if there's a display on the screen, but I don't see anything on the screen. Do we have I think it's the A32. I don't know if we have an A32 screen. If we have an A32 screen, we probably can test that to see. That's one. A32. Okay, so these are A23s. I found one A32, but I'm not sure if it's the same A32. Let's just look and see. Looks very similar. Except for the fact that this one, no, it's not the same. Let's see if the charging port is causing this issue. Actually, I don't think it will display without the charging port being connected up, to be honest with you. Yeah, so we have replaced that connector. As you guys can see in the video, we did a few attempts, and everything seems fine, but I'm still not getting any display. I get the phone to vibrate, which lets me know that it is powering on, but I just can't see anything on the screen. Which is good because it means that I haven't totally ruined the person's phone. But it also means that this thing has to be delayed in order to get this repair done. I'm gonna crank this light up, guys. If you can't see, sorry. Just want to get a better idea of. So those don't look like they're making contact. Like this one. Like that. Yeah, they're not making connection. At least not a very good connection. For the phone to work properly. Uh they should just extend these pins out. I don't know why they make them like that. Let's just see if we can touch any of these. I don't want to get too much solder on it. Just enough. Okay. Let's turn it around and let's try the same thing on this side. Just need a little bit of solder and a lot of patience. And then we'll test it again. Like I said, either it's gonna work or it's not gonna work. It is what it is. But even though this tweezer didn't fall on the ground, the tip is hooked. on this brand new tweezer. Okay. Let's try this. This will be the last trial for the night. I'm not even cleaning it, even though that's bad. Should always clean it. Always clean the connector after you're done soldering, so that way you got a good electrical connection. What if this whole time I'm doing this and all it is a charging port? What if? And it's still doing the same thing. It's still like cycling over and over again. It's still cycling. So at this point, I don't think it's the connector, but I will order a new connector and replace it. But at this point, I don't really think it is. Yeah, because I'm still not getting any image. And even if this thing was like severely damaged, when I press on this connector, we would probably get an image by now. I would say we would definitely get an image. Even if the image is just blinking on and off, we would definitely get an image. So I don't think it's actually the connector anymore. Uh, I think something else is going on with this. Oh, nope. Look at that. And you can see that these were all connected. Right? You can see that they were all connected because they left over here. Let me get this off. So you guys can see. I'm probably going to ruin them, but you can see that there was a good connection there. I don't even understand why it actually came up the way it did, but so you can see all of these. So these ones down here didn't look like they were making a, well, no. You can see that these are all pushed down because they were all connected. Okay, they were all connected. Uh, the problem with this whole thing, like I said, I think is just the connector is warped, and because of that, we're never going to get a good connection out of it. Because those are all uh, And that's my first connector attempt in a long time. And that was an epic fail. So what we'll do is we'll find a board with the same connector and we'll have to use that one. Maybe this is the same one, maybe. Nope. So we'll try to find a board. Maybe we'll have an A32 board laying around that we can use. And try to pull a connector from that one and see if that will work. Thank you guys for watching. This is definitely a fail. This is not a success, but we will get it done. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next video.